Show me one successful black country and I'll show you my dick. In the world, wherever black people are, poverty is. Okay? So I'm proposing a very radical and actually offensive solution for some, but I'm thinking we need colonialism 2.0. We need the white people to come back. Okay, hear me out before you call me a coon or you sell out. No. I've read every book on negative literature, everything you can throw at me. I've read that. But then I've also grown up in a black country. I've seen black Africa. I've seen blackness in general from Haiti, Jamaica, the Caribbean, and Africa. I actually come from one country that is like the third most poorest country in the world, Malawi. It's a shithole out there. You actually walk in shit. No garbage collection. The mortality rates are high. The budget is like 40% foreign. So donors are already, giving money to these countries. Everything is donor supported, and they have to get loans from the World Bank and the IMF and China and to get by. The medicines in the hospital, if the donors say be done, then people start dying immediately. So for 60 years now, most of Africa has been under self-rule. But what has that got in Africa? Okay, granted, there's this other aspect where there's complete continued oppression, continued colonialism using other means like France, the minerals, still going to Europe and all that. I know the story. What I'm talking about is the political systems in Africa. For example, in my country, the police department is a mess. It's corrupt. So why not just bring in to say the head of the police department is going to be an attaché from Scotland Yard, and the head of the traffic police, which is the most corrupt, is going to be from NYPD. And then it goes every place, like the immigration officers, very corrupt. The police on the streets, very corrupt. But if there was someone there, foreign, someone there, white, I have worked with white people before. I've got complete admiration. Before I go on, I've also met like those Trump-style white people who are nothing but shit. Yes, they're smart black people, but when it comes to organizing a society, we need white people. No two ways about it. We need someone who has tried organizing a society before and has done it to come and help us. Because trust me, it's hell out there in Africa, and we need salvation. So why don't we had colonial administrations back then, but those were based on racist systems where they thought they were superior and we were beasts, so we didn't have to live together, we didn't have to talk in one language, we had to kneel, they had to be carried around. But why don't we this time say, look, you come back here and don't talk down to us, but just show us the way. We need to learn. We need your ways. After all, most of the systems in Africa were set up by white people. The governments, the countries themselves. Europe united Africa, not divided it. There were up to 10,000 polities in Africa. If there were to be countries in Africa, there should be more than 10,000, because every tribe would have to, rally around their local area. But Europe was like, yeah, you're going to be like 40, 50 countries. So Europe united Africa and set up systems there, administration and police and security services for selfish gains, it should be said. But now we can go back to that system with the white people, without the thievery, without the hatred, and with altruism at the center. There's so many white people who want Africa to succeed, though. There's people from Norway, they keep sending millions and millions of dollars to Africa, and they get nothing from Africa. For example, I went to school in my country for free, and the books were printed by the Canadians. You go to the hospital in Malawi for free, and this is funded by American taxpayers, the Bill Gates of this world, and they get nothing from Malawi. It's just like we grow peanuts. So most people will be like, oh no, but for now, someone needs to go to Haiti to take over that country and put it in order. Someone needs to come to Africa, to go to Malawi or Zimbabwe and say, look, the budget director should be a white guy, purchasing should be a white guy. Just the government of Britain, if they love us, bring us some officers, even teachers. I used to see in secondary school. I grew up on a secondary school which had volunteers from Ireland, Scotland, Britain, which was a mission school, by the way, which was set up by white people before. In fact, where I come from, they were the first people to come out to fight for this independence movement, because there were some white guys that went there and set up a school. They taught some Africans to read and write, and then they taught them the idea of self rule and freedom and independence. And so the Overton Institution at Livingstonia, somewhere in central Malawi, produced some of the big brains that led the independence movement all the way up to South Africa, actually. So you can see they set up the system for us, and then they left, and then those systems have collapsed, The houses that the colonialists built are still standing. The houses that the government has built can't even last a day. So what the buildings they set up, the roads, they're still there. But the only problem was that they were racist. Now, please, white people, come back to take over Africa, because we failed. In terms of energy, there's no African country that can provide energy for its citizens. There's no African country that has mastered the idea of town planning. It's a mess. No drainage. No what. If you go there, the rain comes, people die. You go to Accra, Ghana. It's a cesspit. And when Trump said it's a shithole country, many Africans took offense, but also understood where that was coming from. So most of the Africans you see on YouTube, like the Wodemeyers and many people, they're really angry when Western media shows the dark side of Africa, like the poverty. But in reality, if you go to Africa, there's more cesspools than good stories to tell. People are dying. There's poverty. There's destitution. So we are saying, look, Africa is ready for colonization 2.0. It shouldn't just be some people who want to pillage and take away the resources. We could use administrators. We could use people who can actually end corruption. I'm telling you, if you just put 1 or 2 white policemen in a department like handling the import duties, everyone coming into the country, the goods will be seen by interns from the US. The corruption is done. This is true. Especially, we've tried this before. For example, when a local coach, football coach, takes over the national team, for example, people will say a lot. But when a white guy comes over, so most of the African teams are coached by people from Europe. So you can see what happens there. No one questions the decision like, oh, you picked him because he's from this tribe. Tribe is big in Africa. That can also be ended by white guys who just see everyone as black, So they'll just come there, look for merit. They will organize people according to their skills, and we're done. We're done away with this idea that people want to employ people from their tribes. People only think this tribe and that tribe. That can be ended by just bringing in a few white guys and surrendering the administration of these countries to white guys. So far, Africa has failed. My country is a failed state. It's just 2 steps away from being Somalia, from being northern Nigeria. What we need is salvation, and we don't need salvation in terms of the NGOs that come there and wax political and all the charity that they do that is actually just them enriching themselves. We need actual administrators, people that can come and organize that society. I would have called for China, but we know what China is. They are all about me, and my country, my country, my country. There is less altruism in China than there is in Europe. So we've seen it done before in the past. Can it be done now? Because Africa is on its knees. We can try a new model. If I had power in my country, I would bring in that suggestion to say, look, we are going to outsource the administration of our country to Britain. You know, bring us the white people, bring us the interns from Europe. I'll put them in high positions. The deputy commissioner of police, white. The deputy commissioner of the immigration services, white. All the people at the front desk, at the tax department, white. Inspectors, white. They would clean up this mess in no time. I've lived with white people. I grew up with white people. Some people are going, oh, you've been brainwashed. No. I have seen how my family, we live next to the caves, we live next to the sinkers, and we could just see it. You know, there were two different levels. The way their kids were raised and us. You know, the kids could listen. Even the dogs, just same. You know, we lived in the jungle. You know, we lived in the jungle. You know, white guy here, black guy here, black guy here, white guy here, white family here. Even their dogs could listen. Their dogs were trained. Their kids were chilled. Even the things they grew in their garden, we couldn't even compete. You know, all it took was they knew better. They knew things we didn't. We did. Yeah, my dad was like a big guy and all that, but he never was really that guy. So I've seen how white people can be organized, and in terms of finances, how they can be very thrift. You know, they can follow every kwacha, every dollar, every penny. So let them handle our coffers. Let them handle the purchasing and the awarding of contracts. Let them handle construction. Let them handle inspection of projects. I'm telling you, Africa can change its fortunes if it just humbles itself and says, look, we have been independent for 60 years and we can't do shit. It's time you come back here, help us, but don't just look down on us. You know, we are people too. So yeah, that is my radical proposition. Africa needs, and Africa is ripe for colonization 2.0. The same goes for the Caribbean. The same goes for Haiti. The same goes for black countries and black societies everywhere. This includes the US. You know, you have places like Baton Rouge and all that Compton and places that badly need someone to say, look, this is not how you live. You know, just do this and do this and do this. Even in Africa right now, where I come from, black neighborhoods bad, Asian neighborhoods good, rich, safe, secure. The same country, and then the white neighborhoods, you know, people have to struggle to go and live there because it's safe and secure. But the black part of town is like, oh my God, it's a mess. You would get killed, you get stabbed out there. You know, all the riots, it happens from there. Why is it that we can't organize a society? Why is it that an Asian would come to Africa and then make a good society? You know, even Indians come from like the shithole India. They go to Africa and they have a way to organize themselves and make more money and be more successful than the locals. So we need to rethink how we organize Africa. 60 years since independence, the independence movement, and we can't show anything for shit. So we need to go in the way of, you know, look, we've been proud. We are proud to be black. There's no way we can change our skin. You know, this is our land. We were born here. We don't know anywhere else we can go. The resources under Africa are ours. We use them as the way we want. But in terms of organizing society, we We are recently coming in from the jungle. We didn't know how to, you tame water. We don't know how to, organize a society that lives in an urban setting. We don't know how to, correctly organize a democracy. So please step in and help us. We have links from the past. Now you are reformed. Now you're no longer racist. You don't want to rip us off in be the bigger man and help us. I believe that there are countries out there, there are volunteers that will be like, you know what, I'm going to Africa to be like the police commissioner. I know people who already do it. People, the Japanese go like to rural Africa and they're like teachers there. There are so many Japanese people in like rural secondary schools in Africa. There's so many white people out there, in teaching physics, statistics. I've grown up meeting white people who went to Africa to volunteer. So I don't think that this cannot be done. But if we're going to leave it up to black people, Africa will continue to be a cesspool. We can talk about the economic neo-colonialism, the ripping off of Africa in terms of resources and pricing of commodities, and another day. But I'm saying from the point of just organizing a basic society fit for human habitation. Africa has failed, and we need intervention, and we need white people. No shame in saying that. There is no shame in saying that. We need white people to come back. That's the only way we can actually turn the fortunes of our continent and our country. Because show me a black country that is safe, secure, self-sustaining, livable, peaceful, prosperous, and I will show you my dick. Show me a successful black country, and I will show you my dick. So that's it, y'all. I'll be making a lot of these provocative videos because I feel like this side of story is not spoken of a lot. Most people would like to be Pan-African, but it's just based on lies, and they do it to hide their own insecurities, the fact that they can't do shit. So they will be like, oh yeah, let's be Pan-African, let's be decolonize our minds. They don't even know what that means. If we adopt an African way of doing things, what is it? Where has it been done before? How can it be done to improve the people's life? We don't seem to have the solutions to the problem, so we just throw out these tropes, and it's why I don't like the movies like Black Panther, where they show an alternative Africa where people are safe, organized, loving, and prosperous. That has never happened. That will never happen, and until something drastic happens, because Africa have been killing each other for a long time. It's not because the Belgians came. I'm from Congo, and we went to Tanzania and then Malawi because we were always running from fellow black people. In fact, my tribe, we now just number about 2 million or 1 million thereabout. Just when the white guys came over to defeat slavery, there was another tribe that was marauding from South Africa, running away from the white people and Shaka Zulu there. They were killing everyone in their wake. They could have eliminated the tribe if not for the arrival of white people. So we have a lot to offer that the arrival of white guys, especially because we're just this small tribe in the center of Africa, defenseless and without any way to protect ourselves. And we are being killed, and we were killing each other. In fact, talking of killing each other, the people you see, like all the people you see, like in Mozambique, Malawi, Tanzania, Zambia, Zimbabwe, these people eliminated an area tribe of black people. So the Pygmies, the Akafula, as we call them in Malawi, they were the original settlers of those lands. And even the black tribes, for people that don't keep history, they still have all a tradition where they say we came and eliminated the Akafula. They tell jokes about the Akafula. So we killed off a people there because we were, that was the way of the the past, the ancient times, and then now we are trying to organize ourselves. We are trying to be civil. We are trying to be democratic, but we just can't seem to nail it. And we would appreciate some help. I would sell out this country. I would sell out this country just to get someone to organize. I know I have radical solutions, but maybe the system is just too rotten, and it's just so many people who are rooted in like this mentality where they they want to run it like a patronage system where they have to be bribes, you have to have connections, you have to see corruption that comes from where they grew up, and that's how they are raised. You have to know people to get by, and you have to give people gifts, and all that to secure favors. I would suggest that we eliminate that, and we can do with some help from the white dom, the white people, yes. So Europe, if you're listening, please, can you float some suggestions? Britain and Scotland. By the way, if Malawi was going to be, if Scotland had to have one colony, it would have been my country, because the Scottish guys were the first to come to my country, and they were all over that place. They loved it. They set up all the things we have now, including the Christianity that is now dominant at that side. Anyway, that's it for this video. There will be another one. Just like and subscribe. Cheers.